But lovely to meet you, Ryan. I'm going to begin by asking about the dream journals that I read that you would ask your actors to come onto set and tell people about the dreams they'd had the night before. I was just wondering about that method and why you felt it was beneficial to this project.
Yeah. It's not really true,
but
it's a good story. and I understand why people are saying it. This film was like we were trying to capture have it feel like a dream that was becoming a nightmare, because some of the families that live in these abandoned neighborhoods in Detroit, they're sort of trying to hold on to that American dream, and it is the houses are burning down around them, and neighborhoods being torn down, and the power's being cut out to the streetlights. So it is kind of a nightmare. So we thought it would be, just a good way to start talking if we started just talking about dreams and nightmares. And there's like a style of acting where that's how it works. It works with dreams. So we gave it a shot. But it was more just to sort of chum the waters and start a dialogue.
Because you have worked with some incredible filmmakers. Obviously Derek Cianfrance and Nicholas Winding Refn as well. Just wondering, was there any director in particular that really inspired you, that when you were sort of making this movie that you sort of not took a lot from, but sort of, you used a lot of their kind of methods and techniques when sort of used it in this project?
No, it's more, like you're more you're gonna have we had a lot of plans going into this, but then everything sort of, once you really start shooting a movie, all your plans get thrown out the window, and you have to kind of deal with whatever's happening at that moment. Like, for instance, we had like a lot of people in the neighborhoods who wanted to be in the film, and so when we were shooting, they would just kind of wander into the scenes, and so we just started to try and be more open-minded and incorporate what was going on around us.
And when starring in films since then, have you found that you've got an almost different outlook or different take on the industry? Do you find that you approach projects now in a slightly different way to how you did before Lost River?
Yeah, I think it's taken 3 years to make this film, so that's a long time to spend with your movie, and I think you understand the whole process better. From soup to nuts, you kind of know how the sausage is made, and maybe you don't want to know, but now, and so it helps you sort of make decisions, I think. Yeah.
And was directing something that you've been sort of planning to do for quite a long time, or was this a sort of story that's been with you for a few years?
No, it wasn't like making a decision I want to direct now. It was more that I had this experience in Detroit, and I saw these families living in these neighborhoods. I wanted to make something about that, and all these sort of historic buildings were being torn down, and I thought if I didn't start, I would just, by the time I got around to it, that they'd all be gone, and a lot of them are gone now. So it just started I just started shooting by myself over the course of a year with the camera and collecting images, and then eventually the actors came on board, and we got a little money, and we had a crew, and we were making the movie.
Was there ever a stage during the kind of writing process where you were planning to have yourself in the movie, or was there ever a time where there was a character that you were sort of contemplating playing?
No, it was a lot of work to make the film. Some guys are in their own movies, and my hat's off to them, because they're making it look easy, but it's not that easy.
Yeah. Of course, you're directing your wife, of course, in this movie, Eva Mendes. What was it like to kind of be professional on set, be a director, and then afterwards kind of go back and be like, oh, hey, honey, let's go home, let's cook dinner? Was it quite difficult to find a kind of balance between the work and the kind of personal life in that regard?
No, because it just becomes, it all blends in, they all blend into each other, and that's kind of, I think what's fun about making movies is that it's a great way to spend time with like the people that you love and your friends, and or at least the filmmakers that I admire. Like I always admire John Cassavetes, for making films like a lot of times in his house with his friends. It seemed like a fun way to pass the time.
Can you see yourself directing again soon, or have you got any other projects that you're sort of thinking about in the moment?
Yeah, I can't wait to do it again.
And then just finally, of course, you've got The Big Short as well, which with Brad Pitt and Christian Bale. I'm just wondering if that's started shooting yet, and what that one's all about.
Yeah, so The Big Short, they're shooting now. I start in a few weeks. And it's based on a Michael Lewis book that's about sort of this group of guys that found a way to, shorting is a term for betting against, and they found a way to sort of like bet against the housing collapse. And it sort of chronicles that period of time right before the housing crisis collapse.
Brilliant. We'll come in to see it. Thank you so much for your time today.
Great.
Much appreciated.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,